Welcome back to Tech Tips with Vaughan. On today's episode we're going to be covering some knife skills. We're going to do a whole lot of short videos showcasing a bunch of different skills and how they can come in handy when wrapping vehicles. Tools used in today's video: an Avery Dennison red squeegee, flex stream squeegees, a wrapping knife with a 30-degree blade, Avery snap box, and some masking tape. The first two tips I'm going to show you are actually exercises that you can practice just to make sure that your knife skills are up to the task of vehicle wrapping. We'd always recommend using knifeless tape on a car, but that's not always the case. So this first one is going to be using some masking tape as a barrier so that you can actually cut on the tape and not on the vehicle. So after placing your wrapping vinyl on the material, make sure it's squeegeed down nice and tight so you don't want it to move when you cut it. And now with your knife and a freshly snapped blade, make the trim in the correct place, being very careful to cut through only the vinyl and not the tape below. And now remove the tape and the excess material. You should notice that the blue masking tape is still behind the vinyl. You'll see it hanging over the edge. If you've cut through it, you've cut too deep. Before you start, make sure to snap your blade so that you've always got a sharp blade when you're practicing this tip. And make sure to put that blade in your Avery snap box. Now you want to get two bits of wrapping film about the size of an A4 bit of paper. The first piece we're going to put down with the long side vertical, and the second piece we'll put down horizontally. Because we're practicing precision cutting, you want to make sure that there's no creases or bubbles and the vinyl is perfectly flat and squeegeed down tight. For the horizontal piece, we just need to make sure that the overlapping vinyl is squeegeed down tight. The ends can stay a little bit loose because it's going to be removed straight away afterwards. The key here is to hold the knife as horizontal as possible, using only your index finger to create pressure. You want to do a couple of straight lines and then also a wavy line to make sure that you've got the pressure correct. You want to cut through the top layer, but not the bottom layer. Now remove just the top layer of vinyl, and check to make sure that you have cut through on both the straight lines and the wavy lines. Now remove the bottom piece and give it a quick stretch to make sure that you haven't cut through anywhere. For our next cutting tip, we're going to learn an awesome trick that will give you really clean edges on your vehicle wraps, using the edge of the vehicle as a guide. Use your finger to press the vinyl into the gap. This will start the transition of the vinyl around the corner. You should see a defined edge. Now using your knife and cutting away from the edge you're trimming at a 45-degree angle, sliding sideways on the edge of the vehicle so that you're not actually cutting the paint, make a trim. Make sure it's at 45 degrees out because that'll give you a 1 mm overlap. That will cover the edge of the panel. Now using your finger again, press the remaining material as far in as you can. We can now open the door to finish folding in behind. Look for any areas where there could be sharp angles where the vinyl could be bunching. Start at that point and roll the vinyl up or down and away from that edge. It's better to roll in small increments than try to do the whole thing in one pass. And the same for the other side of the door. Start at the sharpest angle and roll the vinyl away from that edge. After you've finished laying your edges down, close the door and visually look left to right to make sure that you can't see any panel. If done correctly, there should be no vehicle colour showing. For our last tech tip, I have a great cutting and tucking tip for you. Firstly, place some masking tape on the rubber trimming. This will turn it into a low tension surface and also allow us to cut on it without damaging the vehicle. Next, apply your vinyl, overlapping the masking tape. Do not press the vinyl hard into the rubber trim, Stop when you feel the vinyl start to come under tension. Release the tension by lifting the vinyl away from the masking tape. Using a squeegee, apply the film as far in as you can. Using your knife, remove all the excess material remaining, leaving about 5mm. Now using your flex stream squeegee, you'll be able to push the vinyl in as far as it can physically go. On some vehicles the rubber will have a bit of movement, allowing you to tuck the 5mm under it completely. On this vehicle the rubber has no movement. Holding our knife horizontal so it doesn't touch the panel paint, trim along the edge of the film. You can now remove the excess film and use your flex stream to push the last little bit under as far as it will go. We can now remove the masking tape and see the finished product.